Alright, lesson in being hypocritical so that you guys can understand something. Earlier today on Instagram, I said that I was going to do this, so I'm going to do this. Because keeping my word is very fucking important. Here you have Mulan. And something that you're not going to walk around all day in town with. You know, just so that you can see. Might look better if I do it this way. When you start relying on your weapons, you become exceptionally dependent and complacent. Here you have a short bow. Literally, it's a short bow, because I'm literally a short person. This is for all you fancy swirlers. And that happens also. Here you have a cane. Unconventional, but just as deadly. Wrap the head, pull. Wrap the head, pull. Clip, wrap the foot, pull. Boom, boom. See how I got snagged up? Boom, 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 boom. Now the reason why I brought out so many different varieties of shit, holding an umbrella, thrust, 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 shield, 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 and that happens. Welcome to the reality of weapons. See, it's fine and dandy when it's choreographed and worked out. Now, hit somebody, boom, boom. Somebody's coming, oh no, it doesn't work as fast as it does in the movies. Now let me try it. Now, professionally speaking, that probably seemed kind of awesome. Reality speaking is, you saw that shit fold up. Alright? Practice commas. A girl showed me up the other day on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, so kudos to her for doing this and not getting cut with real commas and not having that happen. Her shit looked more like this. She may be 20 years old, so she made me look like a damn ass. Thank you, young lady. I did post her here on Instagram anyway. As y'all know my rules. Never play with your blades. You know, these are practice. You're not going to do that in real life, unless you're her. But she also has specially designed commas. These are old school practice weapons. Boom, boom, boom. A comma is an assassination weapon. It is not a toy. However, wherever she got her weapon from, it was pretty fucking awesome. But when you become complacent and you rely on these weapons, you cannot carry them with you everywhere on the streets. These you can get away with. They're plastic. Well, these aren't plastic, but they're hard enough wood that no one's gonna know. You're not gonna see somebody walk down the street with one of these bitches on a daily basis. So they can thrust, 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 slice, 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 boom, 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 slice. And my favorite, next to my nunchucks, I want you guys to see if you guys can see that. Let me see. Nope. So now you guys see how long that sumbitch is. Now you guys on YouTube and can also see how long that bitch is. So yeah, y'all see me practicing with these bitches. See me telling you about control, how to make sure you stop it. Smack, smack, yeah. And you see how it landed? Not supposed to land in there. It's supposed to land on the outside. So that way I can kick it back up. If I choose to use the chain whip, this is my practice chain. So there, smack, smack. I'm pretty sure that when you hit somebody with the chain dart and the chain whip or whatever, or go-go from Kill Bill, that little ball on the end is pretty much going to end your shit. Because, you know, boom, boom. I'm not going to have to do this. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not going to have to do any of that. Because the first time I hit you with this fucking chain, you should, if you are a human being, fall to the ground. So then I won't have to do any of this shit. And if I got multiple attackers, okay, I have the chain. Now, understand something. Understand the one true fact. You ain't walking on the street with none of that shit. Not a sword, not nunchucks, not commas. You may have a gun, alright? Because legally, in about 40 so states, you can carry a gun. Alright? So let's say I have a gun. Right? Can't see if I got one on me or not. Luckily for you, I don't carry a gun. I don't believe in guns. I'm no longer in the military. My personal outset on guns is if you're not a cop or a criminal, you probably shouldn't have one unless you're in the military. I also strongly believe that if you are not hunting for your food, you should walk around with a gun. Also, if you cannot fight, you should probably keep your fucking mouth shut. Alright? I'm getting up there in age, but I'm still gonna roll with these. Even if I'm gonna get my ass beat, I'm gonna roll with these. Because that's what I do. Alright? I'm not gonna win them all. I already know that going in. But I am gonna survive them all. But see, here's the thing. I not one time said that I'm fighting to win. Fuck a win. I'm fighting to survive. If you're coming at me with some bullshit, I'm not trying to hit you and put you to sleep. I understand. Let's make that abundantly clear. When I'm trying to hit you, I'm trying to send your ass to Jesus. With no bullshit behind it. I'm not trying to hit you in the face and put you in your place. I'm trying to hit you in your throat and send you on the ferryman boat. For those who have no idea what that fucking meant. In Greek mythology, the ferryman carries your ass into the land of Hades. So when I try to hit you, I'm trying to send you to heaven. I'll even pay the fare. So let me break it down for you. Alright? Whenever you first start taking a martial art, first the teacher gives you the rundown. You may not catch it, you may not notice it, but the teacher's gonna look you over. Alright? He's gonna get your age. He's gonna probably give you a sight test that you're not even gonna know it's a sight test. First thing he's gonna ask you is, why do you want to learn martial arts? And honest to God, your answer better be, I want to learn how to defend myself. Because God knows if you give him the truth, I want to learn how to fight. Many senseis point you to the door. Alright? Because how you play on words decides if you're going to go into this dojo or not. I ain't so eager as that on my test. My question is, why do you want to learn how to fight? Not, why did you want to learn martial arts? Alright? Because see, here's how it was for me. At the age of 7, when I started learning karate, it was really quite simple. It was freestyle karate. There was no katas, block, shield block. There was no brick breaking. There was no fucking board breaking. There was none of that bullshit. That has absolutely positively nothing to do with martial arts in general. That's just the fucking system of control the dojos have to control you. Y'all don't have to agree with that. Any senseis and sifu who have a problem with that, hey look, keep that shit. Y'all, just like me, follow Rob and McDojo life. So keep that shit real. When in the fuck in the universe are you going to have to break a brick or a board in your lifetime? When? Because more than likely, most people don't bring cinder blocks to fights. Except maybe those cats in the Bronx. Maybe some of them cats from Brooklyn. Alright, but other than that, in real life, in cities like Charlottesville, maybe Richmond, maybe Roanoke, no one's gonna bring a fucking cinder block to a fight. Unless you live in West Haven. Alright? Or Prospect, or Friendship Court, formerly known as Garrett Square, and 6th Street, and maybe 1st Street. Because back in my day when we were younger, we wore cinder blocks to fights. Alright? I said it. We also bought broken pop bottles and iron pipes and shit like that, alright? So for those young people who don't know what that kind of fucking rumble is, go watch The Outsiders. It's pretty much the same fucking shit, only in real life. Now, that's a movie starring Ralph Macchio and Patrick Swayze, for those who have no reference. Now, in real life, conflicts start with verbal conflicts first. And then someone says the wrong shit and it becomes a physical altercation. And the last guy standing is the guy who had the better cardio or fighting skills or got really fucking lucky. I understand that shit. You can walk down the street with a samurai sword and not get arrested. You're a bad motherfucker. Or you know somebody, which means you know some shit that I don't fucking know. But here in Virginia, a lot of colored motherfuckers don't walk around with no goddamn swords. That's why my shit stays in the shed. Yeah, I'll whip it out and I'll practice, as you saw me do at the beginning of this thing. But I'm not going to walk down the street and start dingleberrying with my practice sword. Now, my practice Sabatu stays in the car. Will I ever use it? Nope. I will practice with it in certain locations. That's why it's in the car. But as far as me beating somebody's ass with it, hopefully it'll never come to that. But I also know I'm going to get a lot of time if I do. Alright? My chobos, they are in the car. They are homemade chobos. Because I had 3 sets of these. One set broke while training. So I turned them into chobos. So those little short sticks that you see me working with, they're chobos. Now I often use these damn things here as tonfas. When you see me do a tonfa video, I'm just using my practice kamas. That's tonfas. You will never give a real kama by the blade. You will not have a hand. Simple as that. Let's keep the shit real. If this was a real kama, my ass would be bleeding out right now. And if I did this with a real kama, I'd lose my thumbs. Alright? If I did this, I would lose my entire hand, including all of my fingers and my thumb, because I was holding it first. And my dumb ass decided to rip the blade around. I am not going to honestly demonstrate that. Now, you start using weapons, you start getting complacent, you start forgetting what a front kick is. Boom. You start forgetting that you have 2 legs. Boom. You start forgetting that you have a jab. You start forgetting that you have more than one type of jab. Boom, boom. Cross. Boom. Uppercut. You start forgetting that shit. You start forgetting that simple shit. You start relying on, oh, I got this bow staff. Walk down the street with this bow staff. Coming up on somebody, I got this bow staff. Start doing fancy shit that you just saw me miss. Purposefully so. There. Made up for it. So earlier today at work, I also did a demonstration on how people will swing this thing at you in real life. Because catching it here is a hell of a lot better than catching it here in the face, in the neck, because these are your targets with a bow staff. So for those who think that it's just a simple wooden stick, it is probably one of the safest and the most dangerous weapons in an arsenal that you can be taught. Boom! Your target, the neck. Boom! Your target, the ribs. Boom! Your target, the knee, the calf, the thigh. somewhere that's going to stop your fucking opponent versus slowing them down, like a thrust to the gut. But most people try to thrust up here in the chest because you're hitting solid muscle. You want them to kind of feel it. No, I want to stop you, so I'm thrusting you in the sternum, where the belly is just above the belly button, where your real stomach lays. That's where I'm hitting you, because that's what I was taught to do. Block, block, boom! I'm hitting you in the throat. Because I could swing low, or in my case, mid-range, and if I swing at half staff, which is where my hand is, as you can see, it's at halfway, I'm going to bring that point. Now, if you got the staff that you can whip, this bitch is solid, so it doesn't whip. So when I hit you, it's going to be solid. Your job is to absorb the blow. Take it and go. In many cases, that shit ain't going to happen. But a very trained staff person will be able to have that happen when someone's swinging at your fucking arm. You step up, you jump into the blow, boom. Now you can tick it right here. So it's a good chance that nothing is going to get broken because you're going with the flow of the swing instead of against it. You're not going to jump into the flow. And then they're going to take your fucking staff and boom, boom. Or they're going to break the staff. And now they have a staff too. So now you're both sticking it like colleagues. When you start getting complacent, you start depending on these things. There's a good chance that you will forget the skills that you've learned with these things. Boom, 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 boom. Now you need to remember, these things right here, these are your most important shits. Everything you just saw me do was basic. There was nothing fancy about that shit. At all. Front punch, front jump kick, front punch, front push kick, front punch, front jump, side. Understand, these win fights. These can get your ass locked up for murder. Especially if you don't know what you're doing and your opponent keeps coming. Which means they won't stop. Which means you're going to have to do shit with lethal ordnance. These are very lethal. So you've been hitting them in ribs and shit. Their adrenaline is pumping. They ain't feeling that shit. They ain't gonna feel that shit till tomorrow when they find out that their ribs have been fucking broken. So you're boom, boom, boom. They're still coming. So now you gotta go lethal. Boom. Which means you're gonna hit them in the throat. You're gonna break their neck. You're gonna kill them. So yeah, it's okay to train with these things. But you need to understand the ramifications of what's gonna happen when you actually use them. Because you know, with everybody here on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok that's making all these videos, they're leaving off the legal ramifications of when you use a weapon on someone. Especially if you're fighting someone who has no fucking fighting experience. You're fighting someone who has never been in a fight before. You know? Fear can make you powerful. So you can lose when you bring that weapon to a fight. You can take that fight to somebody who's never been in a fight before and they're scared as fuck. Most of my fights that I have won, I've had a little bit of fear in me. Just enough to know that it's him or it's me. And it ain't gonna be me. As I also know this, if I'm going to lose, I'm not going by myself. I also know you're gonna have to kill me to stop me. Period. These bitches right here ain't never let me down. These bitches right here ain't never let me down. These bitches right here ain't never let me down. And those bitches right there ain't never let me down. Now before you think, or before you say, oh, you can run. There's a big ass scar on my hip. Because, you know, some people just don't believe it when you tell them. So, drop trowel. There is a big ass scar right here. James ain't gonna be doing no goddamn running. I'm gonna have to stand there and take that ass whooping, or I'm gonna have to stand there and give one. It's really just that simple. The doctor said no running, James. The only thing the doctors have told me that I have not gone back into doing was straight fucking wushu. They said that shit's out. No flying, no hardcore landing. Never said I couldn't train with my chain. Y'all see my jumps, they suck. I don't lie to myself about that shit. My jumps suck. But I also know this chain gives me range. So if you have a bow staff, I got options. Low, high, medium. I got this twirl defense, but if you wrap your bow through this, and it goes around your bow staff like it's gonna go around my arm, I got nothing, because you can snatch the chain from me. Now, not only do you have a bow staff, but you have a chain. So now you have options on what are you gonna do with that chain. You can wrap that chain that's already wrapped around your bow staff tight, and now you have an old school mace. Or you have Lucille, as in Negan's baseball bat with a barbed wire chain wrapped around it. Being able to control your weapon is something that you also have to learn. But when you forget the one true weapon that you took martial arts for in the first place, you become complacent. When you become complacent, you wind up in the hospital. Because what happens when that weapon is taken from you by someone just like me? Someone who does not need a weapon to whoop your ass. Someone who's been around the block. Someone who's been in a few fights. You know, you can't rely on that weapon. You can't. You need to rely on this weapon and what it does with these. Now, you ain't gonna win every fucking fight. Period. You ain't. Now, if you're one of those people that fight for a living, you already know how this works. Alright? You know how this works. There aren't no weapons in the UFC. Alright? You're not allowed to hit people in the nuts in the UFC. You're not allowed to eye gouge. And I think you're not allowed to hit people in the throat. Intentionally. Alright? I'm not saying that shit hasn't happened. Ken Shamrock and them can attest to that shit, because it has happened. But your only true weapon is the skills you left that dojo with. Or the skills you came into that dojo with. And that's the whole point of this video. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm stating a fucking fact. Your only real weapon as a martial artist is your skills. That's it. Yeah, you can show off, you know. We all can pick up some weapons and start showing off. Block, slice, slice. Oh yeah, we can all do that. And when you're training with these things, it's not a problem. It's not what I'm saying. I'm being honest here. A lot of people aren't gonna like this video. A lot of people are gonna say shit to me about this video. To your opinion, I respect. But here's the reality. If you can't get to any of those things that I just pulled out, if someone was to jump me right now, I'm at striking distance where I can grab this sword. But what if I wasn't? What if I can't get to it, but this is the only thing I know how to fight with? Because instead of actually taking martial arts, I took up sword training. So all I know how to do is fight with the sword. No, son, you fucked up. Because your sword is supposed to be an extension of your skill of hand. As your feet and chain dart is an extension of both your hand and feet. See, a lot of people don't seem to understand that I, James Williams Jr., actually know more martial arts than you guys think. Alright? And that extends to the TikTok and the Instagram universe. Am I the best at it? Fuck no. But I can give you a run for your fucking money. And has certain fight groups and people who make money would have actually given me a job at 19, this video wouldn't even have to be unrated and no one would not know who the fuck I am. But here's the thing. See, opportunity makes superstars. People who don't get opportunities have to do the shit that I'm doing right now just to get fucking noticed. Right now, everybody who's going to be watching this video is going to say, James, you ain't shit. Yet they also haven't walked a mile in my shoes. They were never forced to fight other children as a child. They were never not given opportunities. And hell, if it wasn't for the army, I'd probably be dead. Because my life was just that fucking bad. But here's the thing. I'll keep pushing until I get my goal. I will not stop. I will not quit because that's not in me. But the truth is, we need to be honest with our watchers. We need to be honest with our viewers and our followers. And we need to tell them, hey, you need to be well-rounded. I made a video yesterday about this shit, about BJJ. And I'm pretty sure that everybody who does BJJ hates my fucking guts. And that's fine. Because you need more than one fucking martial art. I'm sorry. If you don't believe me, you don't have to follow me. But I'm not going to be the guy that lies to you, especially on Instagram and YouTube. I'm going to give you 99.9. You got to figure out the rest of that whole 1,000 on your own. Because there is infinite knowledge that I can give you because the knowledge that I have. And there's knowledge that I can't give you because I don't have that knowledge. But I can give you experience because that I do have. I'm 47. There are a lot of things in martial arts that a lot of y'all motherfuckers don't even fucking know exist. Just like me. I didn't know the Philippines had martial arts. I didn't know what the fuck sundial was. Or I'm not saying the shit right. Let's keep the shit real. I ain't saying the shit right. There's another one that I can't pronounce. And I've watched the Krav Maga class. It's not for me. It's the same way I feel about Krav Maga, I feel about BJJ. Alright? Now, there are some shit that does work in every martial art. However, there's just about an equal amount of shit that probably does not work, and if you're not trying it, then you're not gonna know. So you can't fucking rely on that shit. Like I said, in the Army, I learned BJJ. The one important fact that I say every time I bring BJJ up, I fucking suck at it. Alright? I never said that I was a BJJ master, because I'm not. But I can beat a BJJ master's ass because you're not going to get me on the ground where that shit will be more effective against me versus for me. Like I said, in the Army, I sucked at that shit. Straight up and down. I ain't going to lie about that shit. Motherfuckers were going to make me tap. We never got that deep. We only learned basic BJJ. We learned mounts and holds. That's it. We learned toe holds. We learned arm bars. We learned the Uganagi. And I'm probably not saying that shit right because I'm not fucking Japanese, so forgive me. And then we learned a couple of other bullshit that's just not gonna fucking work for me. Might work for you. I know it'll probably work for the people in Delta Company in which I was in. Thank you, Delta Company. But the fact of the matter is, if I can't get you on the ground, I can't use the BJJ that I learned. However, there was standing jiu-jitsu before BJJ came into existence. I learned that. So I can get you in a fucking arm bar while we're standing up. Understand that shit. I'll show you what I showed you yesterday. This is an arm. It's coming at you. You sidestep for standing jiu-jitsu. So I locked your arm through my arm. Now I got ways I can break your arm. I can bring it up through here and clap down here, crack, and this is the elbow. I'm breaking at the elbow because I'm using standing jiu-jitsu as well as Kempo. Because everything I learned in Kempo, I learned break at elbows and kneecaps. I also learned that shit in a little bit of Thai fighting that I've learned. Because Thai fighters' ultimate weapons are their elbows, their knees, and their forearms, and their fucking shins. Because they don't really kick you with their fucking feet. Alright? When they kick you with their fucking shin. Now, some of them catch you with the feet, but most of them, they kick you with this motherfucking shit. Alright? I don't really recall being taught backspin kicks in Thai fighting. I do recall being told this, and then, I knew about the iron body technique before I even touched fucking Thai fighting. But the iron body technique is when they're beating the shit out of you with these damn rods and shit. Yeah. So that's not going to hurt me because I'm doing it to myself. But when other people are doing it, they do that shit to the point of pain and how much pain you can fucking take. I understand that shit. So in standing Kempo, when you throw this punch, so we're going to say it was over here. I blocked it, I locked it, and now I have your elbow. This thick is your arm. Let's make it short because the arm isn't that big. So this is your hand, and your elbow was in between mine. So for standing jiu-jitsu, I have you. Now, you can be beating me in the back of my fucking head, depending on which arm I have. So if I have your left arm, and your body's over there, I'm good. If I have your right arm, and your body's over here, I'm in big fucking trouble. Even though I got your arm. Because I can snap up and push down, which is going to break your elbow. But I have a problem, because this is your right arm, your left arm, and your body's at my back. Which means the average Joe is going to be hitting me in the back of my fucking skull. Or my head. They're going to be beating my ass while I got their arm. They're not going to let me break their fucking arm. Understand that shit. Now, if this was your left, and we're facing each other, and I did this, that's the scenario where I'm going to get my ass beat because I got your arm, my back is to you, and your body is over here, so you're going to be able to beat my ass. Now, if you throw a left and I get on this side and I lock your arm, and now your body's right here, you still can fight, but I got control. So I can break your elbow. Crap! I broke your elbow. As I break your elbow, I'm going to undo my arm. I'm going to grab the back of your head. I'm going to do kung fu, not karate. I'm going to bring my knee as closest to your body, because it also eliminates you from hurting me, to my opponent. So I broke your arm. Your arm's dangling. Now I got the back of your head. Bam! I just brought my knee to your fucking head. So my target's going to be your face or your chin, because your arm's broken, it's dangling. And so here, bam! I got you. Now if I want to do karate, I broke your arm. I've elbowed you kung fu style, and now I've turned my body into position. I pull your arm, I got the torque, and I'm bringing my knee in. When I bring my knee in, I'm putting all that weight and power behind that knee, and I'm going to your stomach. If I want to be nasty, because your arm is broke, I can grab you by the back of your head, and I can bring my knee to your face. It'll be a more effective hit than hitting you in the face, the stomach. It will also probably end the fight faster, but I've broken your arm at the elbow. Alright? So for those who don't understand, that stick was this punch. This was a right punch coming at my left, sidestep. I can break it kung fu style. I can sidestep, lock it jiu-jitsu, standing jiu-jitsu. Snap it like this. I can elbow you. I can grab you. I can pull you. I can do a lot of shit with your broken arm. Alright? So again, this is the punch. I sidestep. I lock. I snap. Elbow. Now I'm going to do karate. Grab the back of your head. Turn and bring my fucking knee into your fucking face. Or I break your arm. I snap it. I grab the back of your head, and I'm going to do kung fu now. Grab your head. Your arm's already dangling. Bam! I'm going to bring your head to my knee that's closest to you. It's not going to be as powerful as the karate hit, but it's still going to be effective enough to fuck your shit up. Now understand this shit. I've been on this planet for 47 fucking years. I've learned some shit. Whether you choose to believe what I teach you or show you, it's up to you. But I will tell you this. I'm going to tell you the truth, and that 1,000 things can go wrong before that even happens. If we ain't been fighting long enough for you to get tired, you're going to snatch your fucking arm back. Because you're not just going to let me hold that motherfucker unless you're fucking retarded. God forgive me to anybody who's watching who's mentally challenged. But if you throw a punch and I sidestep and I lock it, ain't no way in hell the average person who knows nothing is just going to let me hold their fucking arm like this and not attempt to pull it back or do something. Okay? The average Joe is not going to do that. They're going to snatch their fucking arm back. They're not going to let it stay in the pocket where I can just break it. They're not going to do that. Because your natural reflex, zoom, 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 you're going to pull that bitch back. But if I grab it and I pull you, now I have control. I can break it right there. I don't have to do jiu-jitsu for that. I can just do fucking Wing Chun. I can break it right there, and then I can go neck or ribs. I understand. Because you threw a punch, I broke here, I pushed this in, I pulled this out. I hit either here or I hit here. Because it's a snap and a pull. Boom, boom. So I can go here or I can go there. Whichever one is closest is what I'm going to do. I could also just break it and pull and throw a knee up. So when I throw that knee up, that knee is going to hit whatever's right here. Because your arm's fully extended. Now, the advantage to that is you have to come around to try to hit me. I have control. I can drag you around all day with Aikido. You need to be well fucking rounded in your martial arts. You don't need to not learn weapons. That didn't work the way I planned it. That didn't work the way I planned it twice. I'm not going to say it's not going to hurt to have some knowledge of them. But the problem is, you can't rely on them all the time. That's pretty much the gist of the video. A continuation of what I have been saying. It doesn't hurt to know how to use a weapon. It really doesn't. I'm not knocking you for knowing how to use a weapon. I'm not knocking you for being a badass with a sword or whatever your weapon of choice is. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to put anybody down about that shit. I'm here to make sure that you understand the baddest weapons you got are these bitches right here. I'm a full advocate for physical martial arts versus weapons, alright? I practice weapons all the time. You just seen me demonstrate and fuck some shit up. But in reality, you know, I'm not going to walk around with any of this shit. Ever. I'm not going to walk around with my chain on unless I'm making a film for everybody here, or I'm doing something that involves something that's going to be fun, like practicing somewhere in a park or something. However, nowadays you kind of can't practice if your skin is brown because people call the cops on you, and before you know what happens, the cops will beat you down, or they might even shoot you. So, yeah, you got to be careful. I can't get arrested in my own backyard for playing with exotic weapons. However, if I choose to go into that park over there, someone might call the cops and say, yeah, we got this dude out here, he's got a fucking sword. Next thing you know, all of Charlottesville, and like, I'm fucking doing kung fu in the park. I'm not threatening anybody, I'm not bothering anybody, and before you know it, I'll be on the news. Young black man shot dead with Mulan in hand. Wouldn't even have the sword drawn. So I would just be like this, you know, I would just be practicing. And before I can get that done, I'd be practicing how I'm going to die. Which goes back to, you can't always rely on weapons. You can't. And then you never know who's watching, and you never know who's going to tell somebody, oh, well, there's a guy in the damn park doing this shit. Now see how I lost control of that? Had that bitch been sharp, my fingers been gone. And now you understand why I try to teach you certain shit. But I tell you that these things are not toys. They're not toys. You know. Now, I've done videos where you fight with unconventional weapons, like a cane. So, I don't have to walk with a cane anymore, but I've had to walk with a cane for at least 2 years. Because, yay, so many years ago, I was on a shelf, alright? So I had to walk with a cane. And you know how embarrassing it was to be 41 years old, walking with a cane, and having people call you old man. However, this cane wasn't the cane I was using. I was using a more modern cane. But this cane is just as dangerous as a bow staff. So I can hook your neck and pull you. I can hook your foot and pull you. I can hook your hand, pull you. But this isn't going to work on the average hand. For this hand, I'd have to be hooking this bitch around somebody as big as Andre the Giant or Paul White or The Rock, somebody whose muscle mass can actually fit in there. So this would only really work on a leg. As you can see, it fits my leg. So I would have to muscle thump your shit, grab a foot, and yoke your shit. So you have to actually understand how weapons actually work also, which is another reason why I don't have time for that shit. I'm just going to have to fight you, period. It's going to save me a lot of problems than trying to show off or do some shit that I see in the movies. Because sometimes that shit works, sometimes that shit does not. If I use my cane, and I swing this bitch at you, and you catch it, what's going to happen next? We will find out one way or another, because either it's going to work for me, or it's going to work against me. So if I swing this bitch at you, and you just snatch the bitch right out my hand, what happened? I just gave you my instrument of destruction, and you are going to use this instrument of destruction on me. Or crack it, you're going to break it, toss it, you know, you're not going to give a fuck about me or my cane and the fact that I can't stand without the motherfucker. Which, if that's the case, I shouldn't have been swinging it at you in the first fucking place. Now, you can use this cane as a tonfa. Boom. Now, don't think that you can't. It's designed for that. You just can't go in. So you have to go out. Understand? You have to understand whatever you touch is an extension of your ability. And you need to know that shit going in. You need to know, I can swing this bitch like a hook and pull. I can hook it like a pike. I can swing it like this. I can swing it this way. I can turn it into a tonfa. I can turn it into a fucked up ass bow staff with a hook. I can turn it into a fucked up ass katana. Now, you gotta know what you were doing with the shit you were touching. So, in closing, I am not here to condemn weapon usage. You just saw me use weapons. I am here to tell you that these right here are the only weapons you're ever going to need. Fist, elbow, forearm, knees, foot. Because those weapons come first. Those are the first things that you learn in a dojo. And if your teacher isn't teaching you how to use that and you jump straight into weapons, go to a different school too. Pick 2 schools. But just to make sure that you are safe when you are training. Understand that shit. Hope I taught you something. Thanks for watching. Kung Fu Havoc number 2, BC and you. Instagram, thanks for being there.